If the beginning of wisdom is in realizing that one knows nothing, then the beginning of understanding is in realizing that all things exist in accord with a single truth. Large things are made of smaller things. Drops of ink are shaped into letters, letters form words, words form sentences, and sentences combine to express thought. So it is with the growth of plants that spring from seeds, as well as with walls built of many stones. So it is with mankind, as the customs and traditions of our progenitors blend together to form the foundation for our own cities, history, and way of life. Be they dead stone, living flesh, or rolling sea, be they idle times or events of world-shattering proportion, market days or desperate battles, to this law all things hold. Large things are made from small things. Significance is cumulative, but not always obvious. From the writings of Gaius Secundus, First Lord of Valera. Hello, I'm Mr. Pleasant Books. For this book talk, we'll be discussing the second book in the Code of Valera series, Academs Fury. This is a story where Tavi is actually at the academy, where he is, it's about 2 years difference from the first book. So he's a little more older, a little more mature, but he's still a boy. And he's just learning how to be a useful citizen for the nation, for the realm. And he still has to serve his term in the Legion, which, since he doesn't have any fury crafting, he's going to the academy in order to gain maybe some knowledge to work as an engineer or as a battle planner, something that will let him use his intelligence because he doesn't have the fury. And that's what this one is about. We meet a whole cast of new characters. We get to meet the Academs, most especially Varg, who is the ambassador to the Academs, or a giant wolf-like race, which sounds freaking awesome. We also get to find out some of Tavi's friends, and just a little bit about what he's learning and about his family. So that's it for the non-spoilery. Please read this series. It is wonderful. Jim Butcher is an amazing writer. Hello. Okay. Academs Fury, Book 2. This book starts with Doroga and Kitai heading to the wax forest because it's dead. The forest has died. The wax has rotted, the trees have rotted, the spiders, the keepers of silence, have disappeared. Kitai is being told that she has to go and watch the people to learn more of her Chala, who is Tavi, and she's saying she doesn't want to, so Doroga reverse psychologies and tell her you can't go, and you have to stay here and live with us, and which naturally makes Kitai run away to go find Tavi to be with her Chala, to have that bond and that connection and that closeness, which is really important. It helps them grow, helps them all become stronger and faster and just better. You see that with Doroga and his Gargant Walker. That Walker is the biggest Gargant most people have seen. Doroga is almost the biggest man most people have seen. They both are a lot stronger and faster and very in tune with each other, like all Marad are with their totems. So, since Kitai and Tavi are totems, she has to go and watch and learn and be close to them in order for them both to grow and become more. And we see Amara traveling so fast with her Wind Fury Cirrus that she actually breaks the sound barrier, which is kind of a signal to everybody that Amara has come to see Bernard, and so just to kind of get out of the way. Giraldi, who is one of the highest honors you can receive as a legionnaire, Centurion, doesn't even get her password, just lets her on through because he knows who it is. and they're drawing very close. Bernard has decided that he wants to be with Amara, and that's that. Who cares what the law says? Who cares what along with the Vord moving, we also find that the Icemen, for the first time, are moving in great numbers. The Academs are sending hurricanes against the land. They don't have fury craft. They have more like sorcery. It sounds like actual sorcery, and they're making hurricanes and sending them against Lara. And that the First Lord is breaking the back of these hurricanes so that the local High Lords and their Windcrafters can finish the rest to save everybody, which is scary just how powerful the First Lord is. That he can break the back of a hurricane by himself. That is insanely powerful for a person to be. We have Doroga showing up and telling Bernard about the Vord that they're starting to spread. That the stories of his people, when they came to this world, tells of shapeshifters, that they never look the same, so you're not always going to know when they show up. But that when they show up, they always do the same thing. They send someone in to take your people, they kill your people, they shift them and turn them into superhuman zombies. Then they also make their own warriors and fighters. That there's a queen who leads them, and that these queens, once they get established, they split into packs of 3 every time. That they can spread faster and stronger and just take over wherever they are. And that Doroga, out of 2,000 soldiers, lost 1,800 of them trying to take out the Vord nest that he found. So Bernard goes first to Isana, because that's his sister. And while he's meeting there with Isana, she almost gets assassinated by a blood crow, which is like the opposite of a cursor, or like the cursor for somebody else. And whereas they'll go out, they'll find information, but their main goal is to kill whoever their master wants them to kill. And that's why they're called blood crows. Amara and Doroga are visiting Isana. Eric comes over and tells them that he's losing people and he's losing cattle. They're just disappearing. And Doroga tells him that's how the Vord start. So Bernard and Doroga decide to stay in Calderon and look to see if this is in fact the Vord in their nest, while Isana heads to the capital in order to meet Tavi and the First Lord and get help sent that way just in case it is. We also find that Fidelius is still around and still spying and keeping an eye on Isana to make sure that she stays alive as the first woman stadtholder, that she stays up as that symbol to help free the slavery, because that's the Dianic League during this is run mostly by women, or I think exclusively by women, who want to free the slaves in order to help women also gain rights and own land. And Isana is the first woman to ever do that, so they're keeping an eye on her to make sure she survives and can be that symbol that they can rally behind. Tavi, we find out that he's still being bullied by Kalare's son, who is just a jerk, and because he's so powerful, and his father's a high lord, he thinks he can get whatever he wants. Tavi doesn't stand for it. He has a friend named Max, who every chance he gets, he beats the crap out of Kalare, just so that Kalare is afraid of him. Max just sounds like he'd be fun to hang out with. He sounds like a really fun guy. He's also friends with a guy named Aaron and with a girl named Gaella, and they're all training to be cursors. Tavi knows what they are now, and the First Lord wants him to be a cursor, and Tavi likes the idea, likes learning those skills and becoming someone that can be counted on. And so he goes to cursor training. So see the First Lord fall ill. Like he has just a complete exhaustive break, and he collapses and goes into a coma. So that Max has to impersonate him, which is another awesome thing of watercrafting. Not only can they heal, not only can they talk over large distances, they can actually change their physical features and their vocal voice to look like somebody else, to hide. That is just some really cool powers that they have here. And Max uses that to impersonate the First Lord. And they also get Miles, who is head of the Crown Legion, the leader of the Cursors, all get together to decide how to keep things going while the First Lord recovers. And hopefully he will recover. I mean, he is an old man. He's 80-something years old. And so, he's just an old man who might push himself too far. But they hope that he'll recover. Because if he doesn't, that's bad. While Tavi is trying to get everybody collected to help the First Lord, Varg shows up and demands to see Gaius. And when the guards aren't allowing him to, he's getting ready to violence when Tavi comes up and stares him down. and Varg likes it because Tavi doesn't back down, uses instincts to know what to do and what to say to help Varg leave. And he even tells Varg, hey, once the First Lord hears your message, I personally will bring it to you. When he does, Vargam calls him all the way back to his dark, blood-red dome, half-dome. And while he's in there, Varg tells him he has rats in the wall. Tavi to realize that maybe there's secret passages where he follows Sorrel, who is one of the blood priests, and finds out that Sorrel is working with an Illyrian to attack the High Lord, to eventually attack and disable the central city of the entire realm. And so Varg does this. Varg, he's an enemy, and he's hoping to one day kill everybody in Illyria, but he respects strength, and he respects somebody who follows their instinct, which is what Tavi has, what Tavi does. Goes up. Unfortunately, Gaius is sick. Tavi's not in his room, so he doesn't get her letters. She ends up having to go to a party at Kalari's mansion where she meets Invidia Aquitaine, the woman who helped kill a lot of her friends and fellow steadholders. And so she hates him, but she's trying to do anything she can to get him to meet the First Lord to help Bernard and Amara. And it doesn't work. She ends up getting attacked, almost killed. Fidelius saves her, but she's been shot by an arrow before he can get her. She gets healed eventually. I mean, she comes back and she sides with the Aquitaines in public in order to get help sent out to Bernard and Amara, because they do find the board with Doroga. They get to Ericholt, find out that they have been completely taken, all the people are gone, there's a room underground, they have to save everybody, and they get attacked, where Amara makes a nice discovery that they have a bulb on the back of the board have a bulb on the back of their neck full of croche. I think that if you pop that, it kills them faster, because they like suffocate. Where they think they are, which is a cave on the mountain, they get there, they find out that is the cave, they push the way through, but the queen is intelligent and vicious, and she's killing her and stopping the Vork threat in the valley. Now while all this is happening, Tavi finds out that his aunt Isana is in the capital and wants to go find her to find out what's wrong. And he ends up being attacked by Brentis Kalari, the bully, and his pals. Now he takes out the two guys' pals by himself because he's a trained fighter now with the cursors. But Max has to help him fight Brentis, and because Max is trying to protect Tavi, he loses. Brentis actually stabs him all the way through, almost kills him until Tavi breaks Brentis' jaw and knocks him out. Lady Placida shows up to keep the High Lord of Kalari from killing everybody. Max, unfortunately though, has to go to prison. A prison that is unbreakable. Nobody can break in, nobody can break out. Except for people who don't have fury crafting, like Tavi and Kitai. They get in, they save Max, because Max is the only one that they trust to impersonate the First Lord, who is still sick. And so, it was really dumb of them to do what they did, but has Tavi follow him down into the bowels of the palace, where we find the Vord are there as well. That the Vord are also working with Sorrel in order to attack the Illyrians. That they've actually taken many of the guards of the Canaan to become their foot soldiers, their mindless, empty, soulless fighting force. And it almost works. The Canaan attack almost make it to the First Lord. Fade, who was brought down to help, shows who he truly is again. Aurorus Valerian fights the Canaan, starts pushing people back. Fidelia shows up with Invidia, and because she's a high lady, she is one of the most powerful people in the realm. She shows everybody just how powerful high lords and high ladies really are by wiping out almost all the kingdom in front of them, all the keepers of silence that were coming down to attack the people, the soldiers. Fidelius realizes that he doesn't want to watch these soldiers die. That whereas he's willing to betray Gaius, he's not willing to betray his fellow people, his fellow citizens, the ordinary folk who are just living their lives. And so he kind of gives himself away in order to warn everybody that the Keepers of Silence are coming. We see that Tavi and Kitai and Max and Miles, all of them fight against the Canaan that are coming down the stairs. And eventually the spiders still make it down because they can crawl along the roof. Tavi starts a fire in order to keep them back. It doesn't really work, but the First Lord survives. They kill the last of the spiders, kill the last of the Canaan. Tavi collapses. Kitai's been bit like 4 times. They find out that there's a spy in the organization because the head cursor was trying to double cross the Blood Crows. And just a lot happens in a short amount of time during that fight with the First Lord. But the First Lord recovers and awakens. He's healthy. He knows he now has limits that he's got to pay attention to and got to watch. Unfortunately, the Queen gets away, escapes somewhere. Sorrel also escapes. Varg gets arrested, which sucks because he was the one who warned them. But since it was his troops and nobody believes the board, he can't use that as an argument. So he gets arrested, but he gets put into a nice prison. So I mean, there's some in that. And then Kitai gets made the ambassador for the Marat in order to explain her presence in the realm. Because most people, Isana is now with the Aquitaines instead of with Gaius, which is a blow to his power. But she did what she had to do to save Bernard and Amara, and it worked. The Wind Wolves showed up, helped kill off the last of the Vord. Alderic himself shows up to kill the Vord so that it saves the people of the Calderon Valley and Doroga and Walker. And it helped. It sucks that Isana had to make that choice. Walker, just an aside, is cool. Doroga can understand him. He seems like a very chill Gargant. Gonna like that guy. In the end, Miles and the First Lord are talking, and you start getting the impression that maybe Tavi isn't who the simple shepherd boy that he seems to be in the first two books. You actually start to get the impression that he's not even just Isana's nephew, that he might actually be Isana's son. And that Isana must have met somebody who was pretty powerful in order for her to hide that fact, to keep Tavi safe. But we'll find out in book 3, I hope, or maybe further in the series. But anyways, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something new, maybe you didn't. Maybe you learned everything you needed. Maybe I didn't point out things that were pretty obvious. I do leave some things out so that there's more that you can read and more that you can... That even if you just skip the spoiler section, there's going to be a lot of stuff that I didn't say that you can learn as you read the book. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Please come again. Bye.